Have you ever wondered why we are the way we are? Human behavior is quite an intriguing topic. Despite decades of research and studies, there is still a lot more to uncover. The field of psychology looks at the science of the mind and behavior, and while psychologists are learning more and more each day, there's still so much that we don't know. Some research findings are more interesting than others. Are you aware that using punctuations in text messages makes you appear insincere? Well, fasten your seatbelt because you're in for an emotional roller coaster. The following psychological facts may simply explain or validate some of the things you see in yourself or others. Welcome to Thrivetastic. If you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? And as always, guys, give this video a thumbs up for that YouTube algorithm. 1. If we have a plan B, our plan A is less likely to work. Scientists at the University of Pennsylvania assessed the performance of volunteers on a certain activity and discovered that those who considered a backup plan performed worse than those who did not. They also discovered that motivation diminished when individuals knew they had other options. This is associated with what we call expectancy theory, which was developed by Victor H. Root in 1964. According to expectancy theory, your motivation for something is determined by your expectation of success. A backup plan assumes that you will not succeed the first time around. Researchers stress the importance of planning ahead of time while cautioning against getting too wrapped up in the details. You could be unintentionally sabotaging your own success. 2. Catching a yawn could help us bond. The workday has just begun, and you're raring to go. During your morning meeting, you're seated at your desk when a guy next to you lets out a big, loud, obnoxious yawn. You'll be yawning before you realize it, but you're not even exhausted. That's what we call a response yawn. There are several ideas as to why yawns are contagious. One of the most popular is that the response yawns display empathy. This explains why young children who haven't yet learned empathy or those on the autism spectrum are less prone to response yawn. 3. We care more about a single person than about massive tragedies. Another University of Pennsylvania study looked at people's behavior when it came to donating to causes based on various stimuli. A starving little girl was shown to one group. The second group was given a statistics about millions of people dying from hunger, while the third group was given both. Those who simply heard the statistic gave the least, followed by those who heard both. Those that heard about the little girl donated twice as much as the statistic group. Psychologists relate this to the fact that when an issue feels too big, we feel helpless and unimportant, as if our efforts will be futile. In this case, however, it appears that saving one poor girl is more possible than solving world hunger. 4. Beginnings and ends are easier to remember than middles. Have you ever gone grocery shopping and forgotten to bring your grocery list? When trying to recall information without it, you can visualize it and recall information around the beginning and the end. However, the details in the middle are hazy. Research published in the journal Frontiers in Human Neuroscience validated this. It's known as the serial position effect. It's also why you recall the end of your manager's presentation but not the middle. Good for you. It's a thing, and you might not have ADHD after all. 5. It takes 5 positive things to outweigh a single negative thing. You have probably heard that you should start and end your day by thinking about a few things you're grateful for. This helps us stay balanced since we have a negativity bias, which causes us to focus on the negative rather than the positive. It's pointless to dwell on the things that make you unhappy. In your life, aim for a 5-to-1 good to bad ratio. You might simply manifest something great. 6. Food tastes better when it's prepared by someone else. Have you ever wondered why food always tastes better when mom prepares it? In fact, food tastes better when it's prepared by someone else, presuming they are a decent chef. Researchers explain this to the fact that when you're making a meal for yourself, it's been so long that it's less exciting by the time you're ready to eat it, and as a result, you enjoy it less. 7. We'd rather know that something bad is coming than not know what to expect. Have you ever had a sinking feeling in your stomach when someone says, "We need to talk"? Your mind immediately floods with a million possible negative possibilities. If it's a romantic partner, you'd probably rather them break up with you right away. If it's your boss, you'd rather they fired you right off the bat. researchers discovered that knowing something unpleasant is slightly preferable to uncertainty. This is because we don't know what to expect. Our brain goes into overdrive trying to foresee all potential outcomes, both good and bad. 8. When one rule appears to be too strict, we want to break it even more. People tend to break more rules when they feel like certain freedoms are being restricted and attempt to restore the freedom that they perceive are being taken away, according to the psychological phenomenon known as reactance. This is best demonstrated in teenagers. When grounded, they may not only sneak out, but they may also engage in other risky behaviors as a type of reactance. 9. There's a reason we want to squeeze cute things. When you see puppies and babies, don't you feel like you just want to shower them with love, squeeze and cuddle with them? That is a natural reaction called cute aggression. According to a Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience article, the idea behind cute aggression is that when we are overcome with positive feelings, such as those elicited by a cute puppy or baby, a tad bit of aggression balances out those overwhelming feelings, preventing us from harming innocent little beings. 10. We unintentionally believe what we want to believe. The tendency to interpret facts in a way that reinforces what we already believe is known as confirmation bias. This explains why people with certain political beliefs favor one news outlet over another. Forget about persuading Uncle Fred to change his mind about foreign relations. Confirmation bias not only encourages us to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs, but it also causes us to dismiss contrary information. 11. You're preconditioned to enjoy music. Music that you listen to in high school causes the production of dopamine and other feel-good neurotransmitters. "This is my jam!" exclaimed every teenager at a party at some point in their lives. Oh, those were the days of high school. Or more specifically, between the ages of 12 and 22, when everything feels more important. There is music included. Despite the passage of time, studies suggest that we connect to the music we listen to as teenagers more than we will as adults. 12. Memories are more like jigsaw puzzles than precise snapshots. False memories are things that you remember in your mind but aren't entirely or partially true. As an example, you may believe you started the dishwasher before leaving for work, when in fact, you didn't. This is because our brains can occasionally fill in the blanks incorrectly when we merely remember the gist of what happened. 13. We look for human faces even in inanimate objects. The tendency to see distinct, often meaningful images such as faces in random or ambiguous visual patterns is known as pareidolia. The man on the moon is a common example. Some experts attribute it to the fact that recognizing faces is so crucial to us as social creatures that we'd rather make one when one doesn't exist than miss a real one that does. 14. People rise to our high expectations and don't rise if we have low ones. The Pygmalion effect is a psychological phenomenon in which high expectations lead to increased performance. In a well-known 1960s study, researchers informed teachers that random pupils had high potential based on their IQ test scores. They discovered that those designated as high potential pupils ended up becoming high achievers, at least in part due to their teachers' increased expectations. 15. Our brain doesn't consider long-term deadlines to be that important. Yes, you could certainly begin working on that major project for work or school right now, but you have a few months. Before you know it, those months have passed, and you're scrambling to squeeze months' worth of work into a few days. Urgent, unimportant tasks appeal more. They provide immediate gratification because they are faster and easier to do. Our brains process short-term deadlines such as those measured in days better than long-term deadlines such as those defined in months or years. Human behaviors are complex matters to discuss. They are just things we do subconsciously as they are ingrained in us deeply, whether due to our upbringing, peers, or the environment around us. That being said, what among our lists can you relate to the most? Please let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this Thrivetastic video. So if you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this awesome Thrivetastic video for you to watch next.